Hello, Ocean Protocol community. Today I want to talk to you about the DataUnion voting strategy in round 7. I think there have been some questions about it, and I want to explain why we're doing what we're doing. So as you can see, round 7 is running right now. And so first of all, we of course vote for ourselves, as we are very convinced that our project will bring a lot of exposure and a lot of new people into the ocean protocol ecosystem, and in itself will also have then a good business model and run for many years if we get enough funding in our initial phase. Next off, we voted for the Nano sensor powered smart cities, as this is one of the data unions that we are bringing on board. So that's one thing that we're doing right now. We're starting to onboard new data unions that can use our tooling and our ideas, and we want to form a DAO or a community of data unions on Ocean Protocol. So we want to give them our tools and what we have developed so far, so that they don't have to start from scratch. So basically this is a multiplication effect on what Data Union has been working on, so that other projects can directly use that in the Ocean Protocol ecosystem and don't have to start from scratch. So that will basically save all of them a lot of money and time, which then again multiplies the effectiveness of the Ocean Protocol ecosystem. Next up is the maintenance of the core documentation. So if you have used the documentation in its current state, you can understand that it makes sense to improve it. There is always the option to do it better, and the Akshay, who is doing that, is actively working with the team of Ocean Protocol. They have weekly meetings, and that's from my point of view a really promising thing that we need, that everybody needs. And then onshore ocean, so this is like Kaggle, so like a competition for data sets on Ocean Protocol, and we in Data Union need this really actively. So we really want to encourage this kind of competitions. We also want to sponsor them. We also want to make the opportunity for people that bring in data or that have good ideas, that want to have algorithms, to be able to run competitions, and we also want to make this as a crowdsourcing effort, so that the community can come together and use the Data Union platform to run competitions. And finally there's a project that is going to work on that. I had the call with the boss, and the team looks promising, and we are going to support them as much as possible. And we also I also told them we could be their customer number 1, that we do the first competition with them, so that we really get this going, because I think that is something that many companies on this planet will need. They might have data, but how do they get the AI machine learning knowledge to do algorithm out of them? Because that's something that is really lacking. So that's why we support this proposal. Next one is like local network egress traffic improvements to the Kubernetes configuration for computer data. So a short summary of this is there's a team that's actively going to work on improving and enhancing computer data components. We are also working together with them. We don't have our own team inside of Data Union, especially for computer data. So we did not hire somebody there or make a team, and that's where we want to work together with this team and also DataUnion to make it possible that we and other teams, for example the data unions in Data Union or like any other team, can have the opportunity to easily set up their computer data, because that's something that is really lacking. And what you have to understand is, like, right now the Ocean Protocol marketplace is running, and if you list an algorithm or a data set on there, you can only use like the hardware that Ocean Protocol is providing. So if at some point you want to run your algorithms on your own hardware, because you want to, for example, have a GPU or have your algorithm run longer than 1 minute, it will be mandatory for you to run your own data provider, to run your own setup. So you cannot do this, and you can also not use the current data sets on the marketplace. So this is like here, these guys and like everybody pushing in this direction. If they make it much more simple to pull out your own environment, if they can do this as a service, a lot of companies will come and they want to do it. So I think this is very important too. And then to also fix the flaws that they found here, or that they are not flaws that they found, but like basically that the Ocean Protocol team has already put them up, but they are going to work on them. Next one, video therapy. So video therapy is a project that is also now a DataUnion, but based on what DataUnion, my DataUnion project did. So like we are going to give them our app. We are working with them to use our backend. We are trying to give them our knowledge to create a data token, a data set on the marketplace, and then after that also algorithms. So the idea is here to really collaborate closely, and yeah, we think they deserve funding to continue with their work. And last but not least is OceanSpice. This is about simulating Ocean Protocol data assets, and that's something that is not possible right now. So if you want to now list something on the marketplace, you go to the page, you do it, but you actually don't know what is going to happen. You can't know, or you have to then have an intuition or something, or you have to look at the previous data sets that are there. But all of this will take a lot of time, and for newcomers that come to the marketplace and they don't know much about it, this is a really big problem. So if they want to simulate, hey, how many sales do I have to make over which amount of time to make it, for example, profitable to run a server, then they could never do that. So yeah, this is basically one of the things that OceanSpice is gapping. They are making the infrastructure to actually bridge this. So basically you can then say, okay, I want to make this in this data asset. I want to then see, okay, how many times do I have to run it for this and this profit, and other scenarios. So like, how is it going to be for stakers? How is it going to be for that? Of course, it will not have all of this in the beginning, but it will develop over time. But like just working on this and pushing in this direction is, I think, a very important point from my point of view. So yeah, and also another thing, like one important thing that I personally want to use this project for is to simulate how it is to disassemble a liquidity pool and then reassemble it somewhere else. So if you think about it, you want to make your own computer data environment, but you have your data set and liquidity pool already somewhere else. How are you going to bring the liquidity from one place to another? It's not possible to rug pull your own data set. That's impossible. It's not possible to force anybody over. So yeah, and the order of people leaving the liquidity pool will also determine a lot how much they get. So it's very unfair if you do it like this. Unfortunately, my QuickTime crashed, but I don't have the time to record everything again, so I will just continue from here. So yeah, as I said, OceanSpice, in my opinion, is one of the fundamental blocks that will improve the adoption of Ocean Protocol and listing assets there. Without it, I have the feeling that we are kind of a little bit stuck here. The amount of adoption is slumping, so yeah, I hope that this will really be a push in the right direction. So funding this makes a lot of sense from my point of view, and also for DataUnion. We later want to use this kind of simulations to bring on our own customers or more DataUnions. It's like this is also a sales tool for us, where we are thinking, okay, if we can show to somebody what impact and how many people, for example, they would need to make their DataUnion work, how many buyers they would need, and this kind of stuff. So like really advanced simulations, then this is just important. So like basically everyone who wants to bring the idea to make a DataUnion or to list data assets has in large companies has to convince a management person or a management gremium to give them funding, and having a simulation to theoretically show how all of this will turn out is just an important piece. I mean, otherwise I don't actually quite understand how this would work. But of course, there are companies which are really like risk taking, or they think that the risk is, or the budget that they need is really low. Of course, this is possible, but for smaller or medium enterprises, I think it's just fundamentally important that they can understand what this brings to them and how the impact will be and what the cost will be. Next up, I shortly wanted to talk about DataUnion itself. So like we now have like 17 people here in our GitHub. So we are really okay. There are some people that are not active. Then there's like 3 people from visual therapy. So that's basically our strategy. If we have another team that is working with us, we're going to invite them into our GitHub, and then they can work directly on the code. So that's what we do with visual therapy. And yeah, for nano sensor or Sense Nation, we are still going to have to do much more groundwork before we can do that. But basically, that's the idea. The new data units will get immediate access to the software. They can make their own versions. And last but not least, yeah, if you want to check out more in detail what actually happened in the last round, here I also recorded a video for that. And yeah, so we also have here all the information and our current stuff, and also like especially some people were asking for this, how is it going on with your financial stuff. So like here we have here how much we raised, on how much funding we got, and here also we explain explicitly where the money is spent, that we spend all the cash on our engineers. Okay, we invested a bit into education, so I took now some courses with token engineering, and yeah, became active in that community as well. But yeah, so that's it for my side, and yeah, I hope you understand that we are trying to push ourselves and our ecosystem that we're building forward, and that we are not voting for everybody right now. Of course, now I also voted for the community focusing projects like Project Pearl, the ambassadors, and Academy. But at the beginning, when I try to set a signal, I always try to set a signal for the projects that are really essential for DataUnion. And I hope you understand that this is the strategy to make the project successful, is to bring in more projects, to give them funding, to get the things moving forward that are required for DataUnion. And yeah, it's not meant in a it's kind of meant in a selfish way, or not in a selfish way. I mean, like, I also have the whole ecosystem in my heart. I mean, I'm working with the project since its ICO. I've been an ambassador as long as is there. I've approached countless companies. I'm pushing like 24/7 for the project. But yeah, for the voting strategy, really I have to take care that we get the funding to pay our engineers. They're working full time. Otherwise, I have to fire them. Would be a disaster. And yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say, and I wanted to explain to you, everyone. Okay, take care, and please vote. Everybody is really happy about votes.